At the end of this month, I was supposed to be giving back to my local community by taking part in a small hometown event called the London Marathon. I had the opportunity to put this little known race on the map, but my plans have changed. I've had no choice but to turn down my elite entry because I've had an offer I just can't refuse to race something so much bigger instead. But before we get into that, I've got a monumental update. So in last week's video, I detailed the painfully slow process of Japanese bureaucracy and the 73-step guide required to simply purchase a car, which is an essential to have in the countryside here. And so at long last, the car saga has come to an end. I've treated myself to this delicious ice cream. You know what, Scran to Japan, this gets a 10 out of 10 because the vibes here are just immaculate. I'm sat in my brand new whip. I never thought the day would come. The amount of paperwork and loops we had to go through to get this done, it was an absolute mission. But finally, certified driver, whipping it around in Japan in my brand new Suzuki Swift. I had to honor my Suzuki mates, welcome me into the training camp over the summer, and now I had to invest in one of these bad boys. Oh, it's good stuff. Tell you what, without a car, I had to do 2 weeks, 10 days or so without a car after the rent-a-car finished, and it was brutal. Trying to get around anywhere in the countryside is tough. It's not like Tokyo, where you got trains every minute or whatever, you can get anywhere. This should be a bit of a game changer. I'm buzzing to take it for a spin. And the question is, at the end of the year, what will have racked up more mileage? My new Suzuki or my Thunder Thighs? Who's gonna pound the pavements more? And it looks like I no longer have to record these voiceovers myself, as my translator has got some riveting commentary covered.
Driving a new car in Nanyo.
So the next step on this Nanyo adventure is locking down my local Scran specialty. Last week, Cafe Gusto was a strong contender, with its robot cat delivery system changing the game forever. But how will Marumatsu restaurant fare today? These lunch set meals all come in at under a £5 and hit the 4 key food groups. Rice and noodles for carbs, minced raw tuna for protein, some pickles and a side salad for veg, and most importantly, a chalky sundae for the sweet treat. Now, after taking up biking last week and leaving Pogacar quaking in his boots as I tore up the mountains, carbon shoes and rusty chain intact, I've decided to give these poor cyclists a chance and return to my original sport where there's still work to be done on the rebuild. So it's been a bit annoying with the timing of this reset, having to have this downtime, because just when I've moved up here, I wanted to obviously jump straight in with the ND Soft team and absolutely hammer the training. Like, that was the whole point of moving. But since moving, I've done a few little jogs and stuff with the boys, but I haven't done any sessions, obviously. Right now, it's like starting from scratch. I'm gonna be way off, but just gotta be patient. I've got years and years up here to build up. So it's solo sessions for the brief moment till I can get back in reasonable shape and jump in with my mates from the Japanese elite team who run these ends. But for my first session in about a month, I've got 3x1k with 1k float in between, and the aim is 3-minute Ks for the ons, which would have been comfy 10k tempo pace before Tokyo Marathon, but oh boy, have things changed. All right, 1 rep down, I'm on my float recovery now. That was ridiculously hard, basically flat out. Hopefully I've got 2 more in me, but I was really working just mechanically. Like, my body just isn't used to running fast. Nice little backdrop though, even with the rain. Gotta say, it's quite nice getting out here. Now, as I slog out reps 2 and 3 here, there's some pretty interesting data actually to look at from the Coros app, because obviously I was wearing my trusty Coros Pace 4 on the wrist. This little beauty here, and we can actually compare. I was seeing some of the data from before when I was training with ND Soft at that training camp before Tokyo Marathon. That was probably when I was in my best shape ever. And it's crazy how deconditioned you get from, I guess, a month of doing very low volume. Because obviously the faster runner you are, also the quicker you lose shape, you lose fitness from deconditioning when you have that reduced mileage and cut back the volume. So during this session, for the ons, we're aiming for 3 flat, and I managed to knock that out for the first one. For the second one, I just dipped under with a 2:59 here. The floats I'm keeping at about 3:40 pace. And I did a similar kind of alternating over-under type session on this training camp. It was only like 6 weeks ago, except this time it was 3k on and then 1k off. Paces, whole different level. I'm knocking out 2:55s here for the ons. But where it gets interesting is the actual impact on my body of having time off. So I'm averaging 10 centimeters shorter, which is pretty big. If you imagine your stride, how much extra pop I'm getting before compared to now. And then that ground time now as well is huge. Basically, I'm more labored, slower. I've not got that explosivity in my legs. And all of that is contributing to the slower paces. So now it's like 3 minute flat is just genuinely flat out, even though my heart rate's actually not bad. It's not like I'm working cardiovascular wise. I wouldn't have lost that much fitness, but my body physically cannot go any quicker here. And I reckon it'll probably take a couple months to get back to my absolute best like before. So 3 by a K, just about hitting 3 minute K pace. And it nearly killed me. And I was feeling the effects long after the finish. Right, we're about 20 minutes on. I just started my jog back. Absolutely exhausted. That was so hard. This ain't it, man. Being unfit is so shit. It's always the hardest bit of running, but yeah. Once you get back, once you're flying, man, running is good fun. Like, see how fresh I look here running 40K training days during camp compared to half that amount now.
今ジョグ今日の3回の練習40キロカメラマン今日どうだった
Very tired.
Very tired
ジョグでタイヤード。
いやカメさん英語ペラペラじゃんいや今楽しいよ
Easy.
Easy, no problem. Interview Go, go.
I'm Ruon Oikawa.
Oh, nice.
Japanese big star.
Big star. TikTok star.
TikTok muscle. Muscle movie.
ランニング TikTok じゃないけど筋肉スター。筋肉大きい？おー、強そう。His English is perfect. This is the level in Japan. Did you understand? わかった No, no. English むずいね。
難しい。
これからジョグ。
So I'm sure we'll be back training with the boys again soon, but at least starting at such a low point, it'll be easy to see the progression week on week as I rapidly get back into shape. And the main thing is my body is starting to rebalance through the hammering of these daily strength exercises. So it's a big day today. I've got my first team training. You know, I did that little test session a couple of days ago. My back's held up, knees held up. I mean, I feel pretty banged up, but I feel like I'm ready to jump in a group and rip a cheeky little sesh. Now, I'm not quite ready. I'm not anywhere near ready joining in the ND Soft boys. Like, they're just levels above where my fitness is at right now. But I've been invited to join the local team, who are some pretty unreal amateur runners in there, like 219, I think 218 kind of range. Hopefully I can hack it, because even today, the session sounds pretty hard. So I'm not sure which group I'm gonna fall into. There's like kind of range of abilities, I think, but it should be good fun jumping in a group. And I'm now fueling up. I've got a monster brekkie on the cards. Let's have a look what we got here. This is the brekkie of champions. It's the East meets the West here. Obviously, coffee to kick things off, Nomio shot on the side, and then we've got rice on the bottom mixed with raw egg, some slimy natto as well for those health gains, a few little crispy rice cakes on top, and then seaweed on the side. That is a banging rice bowl right there. And then over here, we've got the porridge with a few little fruits and berries in there and some crispy cereal on top. Oh geez, that is some monster fueling right there. So I'll scran this down, get over to the session. Don't know if I'll film much, we'll see. It's my first time meeting the squad, so I don't want to come in too aggressive with the camera, but the main thing is I can bank some solid work and begin the comeback. Let's get it. So the team were all great guys, just like ND Soft, and were very welcoming. So I'll have to introduce them on my YouTube over the coming months. But during this debut session, I mostly was just focused on survival. We had 3 by 3K off 2 minutes, and I actually got around it pretty well. Based off this, my threshold is about 15 seconds a K off my best. So it's a good benchmark to have, and I can look to bump this up each session. So I've just got back home from training and I saw something on my front door. I'm like, oh, what's that? I remembered, yeah, I ordered a TV. I suddenly just made me think, hang on, can you imagine any other country in the world that happening where, you know, normally if it's something expensive, like a big item, they'll always make you sign for it and stuff. But in Japan, you can rock up and they'll just leave completely unattended a brand new 40-inch TV sat there on the doorstep and no one would bat an eyelid. That could be there for days and no one would even think about taking it. How good is that? I just love how trustworthy it is. I reckon if that was in the UK, that TV's lasting, what do you reckon? 2 minutes? I'd say 3 minutes at absolute best and someone's stolen that. There's a bunch of absolute thieving bastards back home. You can't trust anyone, but here, what a bunch of legends. That's definitely one of the best things Japan's got going for them. Now it's time to fix my battered legs from this morning's attack on the track. God, how about that for some recovery? I'm in the public foot bath. So they've got this nice little heated pool here. It's actually the part of town where I'm living is the onsen, like the hot bath area. So you've got these natural springs. Around here, there's loads of these kind of hotels and ryokan and public hot baths and stuff. Ideal for the recovery. All the runners, they love it. They always head over here. There's actually an onsen just down the road that I want to check out. Apparently it's about 200 yen. That's like £1 for entry. It's a post-training. That sounds like the move. I was just walking past it, I thought, might as well test out the public bath. It's not exactly the hottest, but it's a nice soothing recovery for the old calves. But this area where I live is called Akayu, which translates as red hot water, I think. Pretty legendary name. So I'm putting it on the map, making it a global travel destination. I'm sure they'll be wondering why all the tourists are flocking up here suddenly. I'm taking credit for that. It happened to Yogi Park, and I'm sure the same will happen with Nanyo. But now we've got the big question to address. Why is London Marathon off the cards? And more importantly, what on earth is replacing it? So my fitness is slowly coming back, like week on week. I can feel, even each session I do, I'm getting quicker. But for me to get in shape in time for London, it's just never gonna happen. Realistically, I'm never gonna get on that start line anywhere close to PB shape. There just isn't enough time, especially with it being a marathon. I'm thinking if it was another distance, like 10K, half marathon, maybe I could do it. But without that backlog of long runs and big mileage, I'm just lacking so much in the old cart horse department. I can't believe I'm saying that, but my biggest strength normally right now is just rookie levels. So I don't want to fly all the way back to London. Firstly, it's expensive. It takes a whole bunch of time. And then also, if I full send a marathon, go all out, it takes ages to recover. So I don't want to go through all that effort unless there's an actual chance of me running a PB, which I'm gutted to say just isn't going to happen for London. I just feel like it's way better me just smashing out the training here and targeting something slightly further down the road instead, aiming towards that, because London's just come around a little bit too soon after this full reset. And after chatting with the coaches and my new Nanyo team, I got invited to join a competition that brings the Yamagata Prefecture to a halt and is at the heart of this Japanese running culture. So forget London Marathon, I'm onto something so much bigger. I've just been recruited and officially become a member of the Nanyo City team. I'm penning the contract right now. And by penning it, I mean putting this bad boy to use. My first ever Hanko stamping. What a moment. Jacob Barraclough. Oh, look at that. Certified, the contract has been penned. And now I will be participating in the Yamagata Longitudinal Ekiden. The biggest event on the running calendar, and I'm not even joking, a 3-day Ekiden, televised the whole thing. London Marathon has got nothing on this. So all jokes aside, this Ekiden relay race is the perfect comeback for me. The distance of the legs are around 10 to 20K, and the time doesn't matter at all because you're just racing for placement on tough hilly courses. I don't need to be in my best PB shape for this, but can use it as a focus for training and hopefully then kickstart my next marathon block, which is actually a strategy that almost all the Japanese elite runners use as they aim for an Ekiden first, and the types of sessions that you need for that can build a weaponly foundation. So a month or so after the race, you get in ridiculous shape for a marathon. I'll explain how this Ekiden works in detail closer to the race, but it's going to be a quality opportunity to embed myself in the local community and get stuck into the most entertaining form of racing there is. So I'm not going to try and rush back into fitness. I've got plenty of time now to build up, and I'm looking down the road at some potential marathon options once I get back into fitness, but I need to be banking weeks and weeks of those like 40K, 50K runs, plus getting in with the ND Soft group, knocking out some sessions with them. But for now, I'm fully focused on the Yamagata Ekiden. Got to try and get in as good shape as possible for that same weekend as the London Marathon. Luckily, it's not quite as long distance. I'm focusing more on the speed work, getting that one fast twitch fiber firing. So onto that one, and hopefully that'll be just as entertaining as a little London Marathon. You know it's got nothing on the mighty Ekiden races. So stay tuned for that one. But this has been Jake with Run to Japan. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, train harder, not smarter. Let's go.